Okay, so here is a deep box that I had forgotten about. I put up on the top shelf here in the pole barn. And this is what happens when you don't use Surtan or Paramoth to get rid of the wax moth. So this is wax moth damage. So you can see how there's a ton. This is actually, I don't know what you call it, the cocoon stage. So these are going to be wax moths that emerge. I imagine if I pull out the comb, here's the inner cover that was sitting on top of it. See that? So those are all going to emerge as adult wax moths. So if I start to pull this comb out, you can see there's a few dead moths in here. Again, I don't think I sprayed these. So see, there's, I think, is that larva? Or I mean, is that, I guess you'd call it larva, I don't know. Call them worms. See if they're alive. But all of this is damaged comb. Now, is it salvageable? Oh, there's a big old juicy worm right there. It just fell out. Chickens would love these. God. There you go. So what happens is, now, that comb's fine. An adult wax moth gets in here and she lays eggs. And then those eggs turn into, trying to do this one-handed, I can't get this frame out. Ugh. Those eggs, look at that. Woo! Look at all that larva. So these, the eggs hatch and they turn into these, you know, this larva here, these worms, whatever you want to call them. And they burrow through the comb. And what they're attracted to, what they feed on, is the cocoon layer that the bees leave behind in the comb. And this looks like pretty clean wax, so I'm surprised that they're feeding on this. But then again, there may be older comb in here that they started with, and they're just going to use whatever they can to. God, look at all those. A lot of. Yeah, there you go. They've destroyed that. Let's set that one aside. Ugh. That's all poop all over it. I can't even hardly get that one apart, but you get the idea here. Let's lay this one aside. I'm gonna clean these up. Need to give all these to my chickens. They'd love those. Look how you can tell we're in a dearth. Look, I've only had this out here for about a minute. Colt, stop. Put it down. Hey, Colt, stop. No. Anyway, look, I've only had this out for a few minutes and already bees are checking it out because we are very, there you go, die. We're very dearthy here right now, so I don't know if I can get this apart or not. Let me go grab a hive tool and I'll split that for you. Ugh. That's some nasty stuff right there, huh? Look at that. Gross. Man, oh man. Yeah, you can see there's a moth right there. Kill him. I'm gonna kill all these though. I'm gonna scrape all this up. Some of these frames are salvageable. Some of that stuff, I'm probably gonna take a hose to it, try to rinse off what I can. I'll scrape off what I can, and ugh. Well, I guess it's appropriate that it's October and it's Halloween time, because this looks like something out of a, look at that, look at all those worms. Wax moth larvae. But this is what total wax moth damage looks like. So if you do not actively treat with either, you know, Surtan or Paramoth or what have you, this is what can happen. And yeah, so let this be your public service announcement here to make sure you treat your comb, especially your brood comb, because that's what the wax moths really go after, is that old brood comb. They love it. They're less inclined to get in, you know, clean new wax or honeycomb wax. They will, don't get me wrong, but they're less inclined because they're really going after that. I believe it's a protein that they're after that, you know, whenever a bee emerges from one of these cells, she leaves back sort of this, she leaves behind like this little brownish cocoon. And that's why comb gets darker and darker and darker and smaller and smaller and smaller with each bee that emerges. And that's what this larva feeds on when they tunnel through the wax comb there. And then when they get ready to go to their cocoon stage, they usually crawl up in the top here in these corners, and then they'll emerge as an adult moth. What? Hey, can you stop? What are you doing? That's not food. Colt. Hey. Stop. Anyway. So yeah, just wanted to, this short video, just a few minutes long here, just wanted to show you what wax moth damage looks like and what you don't want your brood boxes to look like when you open them in the spring ready to use them. So fortunately, this one was by itself up on a top shelf. Again, I had probably put it out several months ago up top there, forgot about it, did not treat it, obviously. But the rest of my supers and everything, I sprayed Surtan on. If you watched that video, if you haven't, I encourage you to go back and check it out. And also I used Paramoth as well. So a little bit of overkill, but this is what happens when you know, when you don't treat at all or you forget about, forget about frames and brood boxes. And this is inside an enclosed area, so let that tell you. What do you think could happen if you left this out in the open, right? So, yeah. Let that be a lesson to you. All right, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.